Welcome to this tutorial on researching with the Eastern Townships Archives Portal. The Eastern Townships Archives Portal, or ETAP, was established in 2016 as a multilingual, multi-repository online archives management database for archival institutions situated in the Eastern Townships of Quebec. You can access the Eastern Townships Archives Portal at townshipsarchives.ca. Funding for the establishment of this database was provided by Library and Archives Canada, and it's now managed by the Eastern Townships Resource Centre. The database hosts archival descriptions for the Eastern Townships Resource Centre as well as its many regional partners on an access to memory or A2M platform. This database facilitates regional sharing of archival descriptions across institutions. There are three main ways to find resources on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal: by browsing, conducting a basic search, or conducting an advanced search. This tutorial will focus on browsing the Eastern Townships Archives Portal. If you'd like to learn about basic or advanced searching, you can watch the tutorials on those topics. We'll begin this tutorial by giving some background information on what archival descriptions are and what you can expect to find on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal. Archival descriptions provide essential information about the content, form, and origins of an archival record. The archival descriptions that you'll find on ETAP are multi-level, meaning that they describe a body of resources as well as all of the smaller groupings of resources within that body. The highest level of description is the fond or collection, which is the entire body of resources collected or created by one creator, which is either a person, a family, or a corporate body. Fond or collections are further subdivided into series, subseries, files, and items, reflecting how they were kept by the creator, resulting from the activities that they pursued. We try to preserve this order because it gives us some information about how the records were used and provides some context. The lowest level of description, or the smallest unit, is the item. This is a single and complete record of a creator's activities. Items make up files, files make up series, and series make up fond or collections. The descriptions that you'll find on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal are based on the Rules for Archival Description, or RAD, which is a standard for the description of archival records. Following the Rules for Archival Description allows us to be more consistent with our descriptions and allows researchers to know what to expect in descriptions. So now we'll see an example of a description on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal. The descriptions that you'll find on ETAP generally have these fields filled out. So first we have the title proper. In this case, it's the title of the fond, the Mini Hallowell Bowen fond. There's also a title note on the source of the title proper, which lets you know where this title came from. The title and statement of responsibility area also includes the level of description. In this case, it is a fond, and the repository, the Eastern Townships Resource Centre. And it also includes a reference code, which is an identifier for this particular fond. The lower levels of this fond will have more detailed identifiers to indicate those lower levels. Next, in the dates of creation area, you would expect to find the inclusive dates for the start and end of the materials that you'll find in this fond. In the physical description area, you'll see a physical description of the materials. So this fond includes textual records, drawings, engravings, and so on, and it also tells you how much of each of these kinds of materials is included. Under the archival description area, you'll see the name of the creator. This name is associated with an authority record that was created by the person who described this fond, and that authority record is linked to all of the fond and collections created by that person, family, or corporate body, in this case, Minnie Bowen. And here you'll just see a little biographical history about the person. There's also the scope and content, which is a description of the materials that are included in this fond. So it will tell you what is covered in terms of the people, places, and time period, as well as the kinds of records that are included and the subjects that are covered. Then in the notes area, the ones that you can expect to find in most descriptions for an upper level description, so fond or collection, is the immediate source of acquisition. So this will tell you where the records came from and how they came to the archives. You can also expect to find the language of the material. In this case, it's English and French. Other ones that you can expect to see sometimes associated materials or related materials, and of course the access points. So we have subject access points, which will link records on a given subject across phone collections and also across repositories on the database, and place access points, which similarly link records relating to a given place across repositories. Browsing on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal allows you to begin exploring the kinds of materials and the subjects that are represented on the database. There are 6 categories for browsing on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal. They are archival descriptions, people and organizations, archival institutions, subjects, places, and digital objects. So you can browse these either by clicking under the Browse By menu on the home page of the Eastern Townships Archives Portal, or you can click in this Browse drop-down menu next to the search box, and you can select the category that you'd like to browse by. The first category that you can browse by on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is by archival descriptions. So this is the least efficient way to browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal if you're looking for something specific. If you're looking for a research topic and you have nothing in mind in terms of constraints, this might be a good place to begin exploring records. But if you have any limitations, such as a subject or a time frame, then this isn't the best way to look for records. If you're looking for a particular time frame, you can add date restrictions, but at that point we're getting into the advanced searching features, which we'll discuss in the advanced searching tutorial. The second way that you can browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is by people and organizations. So when you're browsing people and organizations, you're actually browsing the authority records that are created by those describing the records on the database. These authority records are either relating to a person, a family, or a corporate body. So you can select that entity type on the left-hand side here. This browsing method is helpful if you're looking to focus your research on a person, family, or corporate body, but you don't have one in mind. So you can look through the options here and find one that interests you. The third way that you can browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is by archival institutions. So this is helpful if you'd like to find out what kinds of materials are held by each of the institutions on the portal, or to find contact information or information about accessing records in person. So the repositories that are currently represented on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal are the Brown County Historical Society, the Société d'Histoire de Waterville, the Eastern Townships Resource Centre, the Coaticook Historical Society, the Compton County Historical Museum Society, Bishop's University, the Société d'Histoire de la Haute-Yamaska, the Missisquoi Historical Society, the Centre d'Archives Monseigneur Antoine Racine, the Magog Historical Society, and the Stansted Historical Society. The next way that you can browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is by subject. So here we're looking at the controlled subject term taxonomy of the portal. You have all of these subject terms, and this is helpful if you have a particular subject in mind, but you'd like to see what kinds of records are available on the portal related to that subject. So here we have broader terms, and the ones with a little arrow next to them also include narrower terms. So if we look, for example, at the term industries, if we open it up, we can see that there are narrower terms such as breweries, cement industry, chemical industry, and so on. So right now we've clicked on the broader term, so the results list that we're provided with here is everything that's been cataloged as industries, including all of these narrower terms. So there are 426 archival descriptions related to industries on the portal. However, if we click on one of these narrower terms, you can see that we're given only 2 results because there's only 2 that are linked to the dairy industry. So from this results list, you can browse and see what kinds of records are available on that particular subject. The next way that you can browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is by place. So this is helpful if you have a particular place in mind and you'd like to see what kinds of records are related to that place. So the first level is by country. However, there's not much outside of Canada and the United States, so there's not a lot to be found other than that. So once we select a country, we can further select a province, for example, if we look at Quebec. Then we have counties, so say Compton County. We can look at townships, and we can even go down to the level of a city, town, or village. So if we click on this, then our results list is only 5 archival descriptions. These ones are only related to East Clifton. But for descriptions related to the township of Clifton, there are 19. So you can see how these broader and narrower terms affect your search results. So once you've found the level that you'd like to explore, you can look at your results in your results list, and you can also apply some of the filters on the left-hand side, such as related to the language or the subject of the record. The next way that you can browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is by digital object. So when we're browsing digital objects, we're browsing usually JPEGs, MP3 files, or PDFs that represent the actual physical objects held by the archives. And this is a good way to browse because it means that you don't have to visit the physical premises of the archives to interact with the records that they have. So you can browse this way. You can also apply filters, for example, by the institution, the collection, or phone that they're a part of, and find records that are interesting to you. A final bonus way to browse the Eastern Townships Archives Portal is using the Popular This Week function. So this is located on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal homepage under the Popular This Week heading. And the thing about this sort of browsing is you really have to have no expectations because it's just based on the pages that have been visited the most in the past week. But this may be a way to start discovering the kinds of materials that are available on the portal. So just click on one of them and you can learn something about it. We hope this tutorial has inspired you to discover the wealth of resources that are available on the Eastern Townships Archives Portal. However, if you have something particular in mind, it may be more efficient to use the searching or advanced searching methods. So we encourage you to watch the tutorials on those subjects as well. In the meantime, we wish you good luck with your research.